Hey guys, I'm coming at you with the latest episode of the 1985 Pontiac Fiero GT build from Monogram in 1/24 scale. Gonna talk to you about a little something that has always bugged me about this kit ever since I built my first one over 30 years ago. If you look at the box art, hold on, let me just pause this here. If you look at the box art, you can you can see here, the rear tire sits too far in. The track on the rear wheels is narrower than it is in the front. As you can see, the front comes right up to the edge of the fender line. The rear does not. And this is not just in the box art, as if we take a look at the one I built over 30 years ago, you can see that it's also true of the actual physical model that you build. The wheel just sits too far in to the fender well. Meanwhile, you look at the front, and it's right here at the edge of the fender well, right where it should be. Now, Fieros have always had a wide track, and the wheel has always been pushed out to the corners of the car. So, while it's not the worst thing in the world, it kind of just bugs me because it looks just kind of odd to me that the wheel will be so far in. And it's about an equal distance in on both sides. So I just wanted to figure out how I could correct that. And this is what I came up with. Okay, this is the current build. Now, the wheel is just placed onto the car just so I can gauge about approximately how much I will need to move it outward. And it would only need to be about a millimeter or two outward in order to bring it closer to being flush with the fender. Now, to do that, I'm going to have to make a spacer that I'm going to install here, which is going to push the wheel out just a little bit. And I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, now, to make my spacer, basically I just take a piece of hollow tubing. This one happens to be a square shape as opposed to a round, because it's the only one I have currently that will fit around the spindle. And what I do is I just cut it to the width that I need. Use my hobby saw, space it out here, and just cut whatever size I need. This is just going to be like a millimeter or two. And this is the result. This is the spacer that, when placed on the spindle, right there, you can see that it will, let's see if we can focus in on this here. There we go. You can see that the height of the spacer is going to be the amount that it's going to push the wheel outward, which is basically a trial and error fit thing until I find what I like. And this, I think, is going to work perfectly. As you can see now, the wheel is right at the edge of the fender, which gives it a better stance and a better appearance. Let's see if we can get a look underneath so you can see exactly how high up. Can't really get in there. Maybe we can see it here. Let's see, put a little light on this matter. Okay, here you can see the spacer in between the wheel and the hub and the spindle assembly. And that's how much it's pushing the wheel out to the corner of the body. That's going to give us a much better stance and a much better appearance when the car is sitting on all four tires. Now what I do is I just glue it right to there. Put a little bit of paint on it so that it doesn't really stand out. And then we have a car with the proper stance. So let me get that done, and then I'll be right back with the final result. Okay, here we have the spacer attached to the spindle. And now it's going to need just a little bit of paint, just to camouflage it a little bit, so you don't really see it that much when you're looking under the car.
For spacer attached to the
spindle. Hold on.
Check it out.
Siri's listening. Okay, she's quiet now. So now I'm going to put a little bit of paint on it just to hide it. And speaking of paint, I've got to give a little shout out to this new Revell aquacolor paint. I tried it just to see. I bought this one just to see how good this is, and I gotta say I like it a lot. It covers very well. Haven't tried any of their other products, but I decided to give this a try since this is their whole new line of paint, and I gotta say I'm really very happy with it. It's got a really neat little box too. All right, we'll be back in a second. Okay, just off topic for a second here. I just thought I'd show you one of the neat features of this new container for the Revell paints. Once you open the can up, you can clip the can into the top, and it gives you a really nice little painting stand here. Kind of a neat feature. All right, let's get back to work. Okay, and here we are with the finished product. Now you can see how much further out the wheels are. All it takes is a couple of millimeters to bring them out to the edge of the body, and it makes an amazing bit of difference on the stance of the vehicle. As you can see the difference here between the older car and the newer car. As you can see, the wheel being pushed out just a little bit further gives the illusion of the wheel actually being larger than what it is, and filling the wheel well a little more evenly. And taking up the gaps in the wheel well. I used the same trick on the Testarossa I built about a year ago, and it works just as well for the Fiero. Here you can see here the wheel pushed all the way out to the edge of the car, and you can see how much further this one sits in. This corrects one of the flaws that the car will have when it's sitting on your display. Just a little tip if you're planning on building this car, something you might want to consider. Because it's one thing that's really been bothering me about this model as I've been building it is the stance and the way the wheels sit. All right. That's it for this video. I'm getting close to being done. Still got a bit of work to do, but she's coming along. All right, I will see you guys on the next one.